Welcome all to Let's Get It, where we attack today's local and national hottest sports topics. I'm your host, Randy Dutkin, and let's get after it.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Let's Get It. I'm your host, Randy Duncan, along with my co-host, Marcus Bullock, and my producer and co-host, Jason Bryce, coming to you on a Sunday night after what will be another Eagles loss, and now what is a quarterback controversy. The Eagles went down 30-16 to the Green Bay Packers. We saw the first real play of Jalen Hurts, maybe the benching of Carson Wentz. But as always, Coach, how are you tonight?
I'm doing well, man. It was a long weekend for me. Watching that game was interesting. Gave me some energy. I'm ready to get into it.
Yeah, I am too. I'm telling you. Listen, I'm going to sit here. I'm still going to have my perspective, but we'll get into that. So, Jay, how are you, sir?
He's starting already,
I'm
man.
starting
already.
I noticed you got some
laying
gear.
out the platform and the foundation. Come on,
I
man.
noticed you have some gear.
I do, man. I just, you know what I'm saying? I just want to let you know that, when I'm talking about, all my New York teams. Like I said, I have my favorites.
You got a Jets hat.
The Jets
you got
hat.
a G-Ben hat.
That's right. I got
and
the
over
nice
here
jersey.
you got
I got
the
Yankee
jersey.
paraphernalia. I'm a new. I got my Knicks stuff. I might even wardrobe change just in the middle of some things just to show my support. That you can root for more than one team when you're a New Yorker. You can have your favorites, but you can also represent New York like that. But you know what? I will say that you guys are right about that North Carolina situation.
Oh, yeah.
Because I called. Actually, I'll be honest. I just want to be transparent. My baby mom's from North Carolina. And I asked her, and she was like, "Nah, she can't stand Duke. It don't even matter. Like, yo, whatever. I'm done." You know what I mean? So I get it though. It's all good. But I'm doing well. I'm corona free. Decent weekend. Loving what I saw today. I'm ready for the show. And just hopeful and prayerful that we gotta find out what's going on with my boy over here, man. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Who's that?
You, man. Yeah.
Oh, that's me.
It's definitely you, man.
Oh, okay.
You love Carson. I just don't know. But I'm interested in having a good conversation, and I'm looking forward, so we can get right at it. I'm ready.
We're going. Listen, so
let's get it.
So today the Eagles went down 30-16.
Let's get it.
It was an ugly game. First half, Carson and the Eagles had no rhythm. They only put up 3 points. They didn't get past the 24-yard line of the Green Bay Packers. Carson was holding on to the ball way too long, getting sacked left and right. He was not making any plays. The team had no rhythm. There was nothing that I could say good about the Eagles in the first half. Nothing good. I did not understand, though. One thing was Miles Sanders, who's their top running back. He got started off the first drive of the game. He had gotten two runs, first down, and then he was taken, kind of disappeared. And they went to Jordan Howard, which they had brought back off the practice squad. Now, don't get me wrong, Jordan Howard still has some, gas in the tank, and he's familiar with the system because he had been here before. But it was, okay, the whole point of this game was, and what they're talking about going into this week, was taking the pressure off Carson and running the ball, and that's what I don't understand. But either way, when they were taking the pressure off Carson, and at times when they had to put the pressure on him, he just couldn't step up. He didn't step up. He was nothing today. The throws were off. He was holding on to the football, and the first half was terrible. And then, in the second half, Carson Wentz did not see the field. We saw
in the second half?
Nope, because the Packers came out, and they had the kickoff in the first. They got the kickoff in the second half, and when the Eagles went on offense in the second half, Jalen Hurts was the quarterback that came out. And honestly, I wasn't surprised. I actually thought that was the time to make the move. When I was watching the game, I said, "This is the time to bring in Hurts and see what he can do."
You were like kind of excited or happy or
what? I was. It's hard. I feel like I get choked up talking about this.
Gosh.
But at this point, the way the first half went and how lost Carson seemed and how inept the offense seemed with him behind it, I said, "You got a team right now. They were down. You're on the road. You know that the season's kind of lost. Where else do you bring in Hurts? This is the opportunity to do it and see what he can do." And I'll tell you what, he motivated the team. You saw a different team. You saw a team with excitement. You saw Hurts made a couple real nice throws. That touchdown throw he made was very nice.
Right.
He got out of the pocket. He moved. He got rid of the football, something that Carson hasn't been doing.
Right.
And now the biggest question is moving forward is who is your quarterback moving forward? And I want to get your thoughts, and then we have a caller that's going to be joining us in just a few moments. So, Coach, what's your thoughts?
I mean, I think it's a no-brainer. I mean, I think at this point you're no longer the excuse of we're in first place playing for the playoffs. That's pretty much gone.
Yeah.
So I think you have to make the move. I think, like you said, I think when Hurts came in, the team sparked. I think that has a little bit to do with all teams when like that young backup quarterback comes in, like everybody's fired. Like I think that has a little bit to do with that. But it also has to do with I think Carson's not the leader on the team. So, the guys were trying to rally around it and give him some hope. So yeah, I mean, I think that's an easy decision moving forward. I think Hurts just brings a different vibe, some freshness.
He did. He did.
You know what I mean? And
Plus,
like,
he got my ball playing number, so I got a little bit of spot for him.
What's it, number 5?
Number 2.
Oh, number 2. Oh, okay.
So I got a little spot for him.
So yeah, I mean, I think his ability to when the offensive line that's bad that we've been talking about since the beginning of the year breaks down, he's able to get out of the pocket and run and do things like that that Carson was built up to be able to do, but hasn't been doing. So I don't know. I think it's an easy decision at this point to ride with Hurts and at least see what you got. If he comes out next game and it's an embarrassment, then it is what it is. At least and that's part of moving forward with the team.
And you said a quick word. One of the things that stuck out was embarrassment. I mean, right now, every Eagles fan has been embarrassed to watch this team for the majority of the last 4 to 5 weeks. So you're not really changing anything that's been a product on the field.
For sure.
So it's like you didn't go from success to embarrassment. This is all it's been. At least if you got this and you're looking at an embarrassment, you're saying, okay, we see what we have, like you talked about. So Jay, with that said, I just want to get your thoughts real quick, and then I'm going to go into our call.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'm not sure if I agree with. Well, first of all, the main thing I want to go over first of all is you said that Carson played the second half though.
No, he didn't play at all in the second half.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, he halftime score was what, 7-3, right?
Yeah.
Right. Now I'm watching the game and I'm watching Carson.
No, it was 14-3 at the half.
Oh, 14-3. Okay. So then he came back. That whole third quarter, he didn't play.
Nope, he didn't play at all in the second half.
I disagree. I think he played. And that's why I don't know if did Carson get benched,
No, Carson got benched.
or was it the fact that they felt like the game was out of reach and it was like, hey, listen, it's 20-3. You know what I'm saying? They're playing horrible. They're playing this. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. That's something to kind of think about a little bit. But I have to say that, I've been calling for Carson to be done. I've been calling for Carson to be done actually some time ago. I'm not sure what the love affair is it with him. I do know that he was 11-2 at one point,
Yes.
and 3 years ago. Okay, that was 3 years ago. Okay, but he's 11-2. He's been garbage ever since then. Yet you still paid him $100-something million, and for whatever reason, it's like people love him, but for what? And they're afraid to give other people, or particularly Jalen Hurts, a chance. And that seems to be a little bit. I'm not sure what is the loyalty, what is the love affair with him. He didn't bring you a Super Bowl. He didn't bring you a playoff. I mean, he brought you one playoff victory last year, but other than that, he didn't do anything.
Well,
so
listen,
I did
we
see.
still go back to you can't say that. And I do, like I said, I want to go to our caller. I
Sure.
know.
Before Carson played the first series in the third quarter.
Okay,
Did the first
thank you.
series.
That's
It
what I'm
was
saying.
now.
Oh,
Yeah, no.
see, that's the thing. It was so short. You didn't realize he.
Yeah, but I knew he played. I knew he
Oh, okay.
played. So I'm
We
not.
listen, we got people all over thinking he's garbage. Let me go to this.
Are they
let's go
really?
to our- yeah, people think he's garbage all over with Carson.
Okay.
Man.
All right.
Let me
So,
go-
real quick, I just want to say something real quick. I just want to shout out somebody if I can, real quick. I just want to shout out to Chandler. You know what I'm saying? To let you know that I'm saying I'm with you, and we will persevere. That's why I just want to shout that out. That's
Okay.
all right.
All right. Let's get our call on the line here. All right, we got some technical difficulty, but we'll try to get him on the line.
Okay.
So, but no, I mean, here's the thing though. This is the struggle though right now. Is that what? Here's the biggest issue though. When you bring in Jalen Hurts and you bring in the new quarterback. All right, let's try this again.
All right. Are you connected Bluetooth?
Yeah.
Okay,
All right,
here
here
we
we
go.
go. Here we go.
Here we go.
Hey, Lee, how you doing? You're on live. Let's Get It with Randy. How are you, sir?
Hey, Randy, I'm good. How are you guys?
I'm good. You're on live with Marcus and Jason. I know you've spoken with Jason before. You were on one of our very early episodes of Let's Get It. Back before we grew to the platforms we're on now.
What's up, Lee? How you doing, bro?
Me again? I'm doing great. How are you?
All right, brother. All right. Good to hear from you. Man.
All right, Lee. Listen, I'm going to prep you real quick. I know that we were talking prior to this show. I know you're fired up. I know that you have some thoughts on the Eagles, and Jason and Marcus have some thoughts too. But Lee, I know your thoughts on what's wrong with this team, and I'm going to let you fire off and tell me what your thoughts are right now.
I think this team's a total mess. I think if you look at, top to bottom, I think Howie Roseman's been a huge problem for this team. Really, his entire tenure here. 2017 aside, obviously he reached unbelievable heights. Howie has failed across the board every other year he's been here. 2017, beautiful miracle, happy for it, and never take that away from us. But outside of 2017, the guy's failed in draft picks, in free agency, in trade. He's had glaring misses, and this team is just grossly inferior talent-wise to anybody else they're going with. Beyond Howie, Doug, I think, is also a huge problem. I don't think today was as bad a game plan as some of his previous ones have been. But his game plans this year have been a disaster, and it's not just this year. He also, outside of 2017, has largely been a 500 at-bat coach. Part of that is the roster.
Hey,
part of that is him.
Hey, Lee, not to cut you. Can you turn you got this show playing in the background? You might want to turn the volume down.
I do not have
Oh, you
show
don't?
in the background.
Okay. Okay, that's all right. Oh, okay. No, pardon me.
Sorry about that.
No. Okay, there we go. All right, so we're good.
All right, no, sorry about that, but yeah, Lee, no, I get that.
That's
And
all right.
Here's the issue is that, and again, for our listeners and watchers who may not have heard, you mind just repeating some of the points that you just made?
Sure. Quickly, I think Howie Roseman's the biggest issue with this team. I think the draft picks, the free agency, the roster is just grossly under-talented. Beyond Howie, I think Doug has been really bad. I think this year he's been better than most, I think this game he's been better than most this year, but in general, I think his game plans have been disaster across the board. And then the roster obviously has just played terribly. They've executed what game plan they've had poorly. The offense has been truly horrible. And the defense today, Aaron Rodgers looked like he was playing against the high school team.
He did. Now I'm gonna give my Marcus and Jason a chance to throw some questions at you may have as a fan, because I told him, man, that at the end of the day that you are a ride or die with all Philadelphia teams and have been infuriated by most of the teams. So I'm gonna give them a chance to throw some questions that they may have at you.
Lee, let me ask you this: when it comes to Carson, what is the love affair that Philly fans have with him?
Well, I think I certainly do have a love affair with Carson. I think I am the minority in Philly here. I think Philly is turning on Carson pretty hard. For me personally, I have seen this year aside, because Carson's been terrible this year. I don't think he's the biggest problem on the team, but I can't deny he's been horrible this year. Outside of this year, though, I have seen Carson make throws, make plays, do things on the field that I've never seen an Eagles quarterback do in my life. Not Randall, not Donovan, not Vic.
Oh my!
He's unbelievable at times.
Wait.
I'm sorry. You know what? I was managing my phone. Can you repeat that, Mr. Lee, real quick, please?
Carson has been terrible this year. Outside of this year, there have been plays and throws that Carson has made that I've never seen another Eagles quarterback capable of making. From Donovan to Randall, the guy's unbelievable at times. This year outside, he's been horrible this year. But Carson has been spectacular at times in his career, and that's the reason I think there is a love affair with Carson, with the people who still have it.
And listen, and see,
But I think
and
that's
that's
great
the
limit.
point. That's the point that I make, Lee, when I do try to defend Carson, which is becoming harder and harder right now,
saying
which
what
you
I
admitted
do.
to.
Absolutely.
You know, right now that it's hard to follow him and be all over him because like last year he brought us back, the year before. I mean, his numbers have been fantastic. But I know you said that he's made plays that no one else has seen.
Hold on.
I know Jason wants to get on this.
Hold
Go
on.
ahead.
Because Randy makes blanket statements. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's why his numbers have been fantastic. What has his numbers been outside of 11-2? What has his numbers been? They've been fantastic? Outside of 11-2?
Well, okay, so Lee, go ahead. I know that you know this too. Like last year, he was the only quarterback to throw over 4,000 yards and never have one receiver with over 500 receiving.
Correct.
Yeah, so I mean, that would sound
What
working with
Carson has
nothing.
done with no help around him is impressive. The offensive line has been suspect at best since the Super Bowl. The receivers are non-existent. Don't talk to me about Fulgham and Ward. They're both non-drafted rookies for a reason.
They're getting busy,
This
though.
team, they what?
They're getting busy, though. Fulgham's getting busy, though, right?
Fulgham has been non-existent.
Fulgham won a few
though,
games
since-
early on, and I do think he could be an NFL receiver, but he's not a difference maker by any means.
Okay.
Now, Jay, I know you want to bring up something, and I know that you've said this before about what we should have done, and I know that we've had this conversation many times about
Nick
a certain
Foles.
quarterback.
Oh, yeah. We don't have to skirt around it. Yeah, Nick Foles. I personally believe that Nick Foles deserved a little more time. I thought that he should have still been the quarterback. I mean, you know, after 2017, Nick Foles comes in. Carson got you there 11-2. Nick Foles comes in, and you know he pretty much saves the day, right? So you know all those decision makings with Howie Roseman and whatever, it worked for 2017 and brought the Eagles a championship. And that was a championship. That was the first time that the Eagles, this area, have seen a championship since what was that? 1960. They showed it not too long ago on the TV.
Yeah.
1960. Okay, so now 2018, they go back to Carson. They pay Foles a little bit to keep him on the bench. Carson gets hurt again, like Glass Joe gets hurt, and then now Foles comes in, saves the day again. So then now you say, now you know what? That's it. All right, we did it twice. Now we don't want you no more because you know what? You want to start. You wanted this. He's saying, hey, listen, I proved myself. I brought you a chip. I got the job done. Some could even say, as much as people advocate for Carson and what he did 11-2, I would have to say it was even the job that Foles did was even harder than what Carson did because he had to do it in the playoffs. He had to do it with the pressure from the little bit of games that he had in the regular season plus in through the playoffs. Okay, Foles deserved the chance, and I personally believe, and I know there's other people out there, particularly there's one individual I know, Dr. Cuff. They and a lot of other people that sometimes what's happening with Carson and this whole Eagle situation is karma. Because Foles deserved. Hold on, you asked me a question. Let me articulate my point. But Foles deserved. He deserved the chance with the Eagles, the team that he bought and delivered a championship. The team that he said and set the tone in that game when he said, no, Doug, Philly. That changed the whole dynamic of that whole game. You know what I'm saying? So how you did Foles for Carson, I don't understand it. You gave Carson that money. I just think he's not that good. I think he's garbage. That's my opinion, though. Okay? Now, you can come with those stats, and he didn't have this one around and this and that. Listen, Aaron didn't have, Aaron Rodgers, he didn't have really good years those years either, but he wasn't on this level of garbage like Carson. You know what I'm saying? Carson, if he's getting paid like you are a superstar quarterback, franchise quarterback, then I expect you to, kind of try to get the job done and make some plays.
Lee, you got a refute to that?
I've got a lot of different things to say back to that.
Okay.
First off, I will say everything you're saying about Foles is fair. He played great in 2017. He had two of the best games at the biggest time you could ask for. And yes, I agree. What he did was every bit as critical. You could argue more critical than what Carson did in 2017. That said, every single time you have handed Nick Foles the keys to a franchise, he has either failed miserably or gotten hurt. So if you're going to call Carson Glass Joe, keep in mind Nick Foles gets hurt just as often. He's just as much Glass Joe. The only time he ever makes it through a season is when another quarterback gets him to week 14. If Foles has to start a season, he either, like I said, fails miserably or gets hurt.
Well, here's the other thing.
I don't want to sit here and bash Foles because he did win us the Super Bowl, so I don't want to do that.
And his record
But
for Philly is good.
It is,
His record for Philly, he lost games, he won games, he won big games, no arguments, but there's a lot you forget about in Foles' career. 27-2 was great. The next start of the season, the first half, he was one of the worst quarterbacks in the league.
yes.
2017 was great, but it was 4 games. And actually, of those 4 games, the first 2 he was bad. The second 2 he was really good. Obviously, the second 2 were the most important, but it's very selective memory with Foles.
No, it is. And go ahead, Marcus. I know you want to say something.
Lee, if you let's do this. Let's take out. Would you agree that this is Carson's worst season?
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's take out this season and let's take out the Super Bowl season. All right, let's take out
Fair.
the best season. Let's take out the worst season. Is he an elite quarterback?
No.
Honestly, Lee, that's very interesting for you to hear from you because I know that you are one of the biggest Carson supporters. Now, one of the things I wanted to say too was, and I know you'll back on this, the Eagles really had no choice though to sign Carson to that long-term contract based on what they did in the draft and what they gave up to go get him. They had made that investment. They had to do it.
They did it early.
Yeah.
So was that a smart move by Roseman then?
Financially, you know it is.
No, so it was a smart move by him. He did something right because I mean he gets vilified. So I want to say
I think it
know.
Well, let's put it this way: it's a smart move if you don't go out and sign or draft the quarterback in the second round immediately
And
after.
you don't make draft picks around that quarterback to help support him.
Right. Like if you're gonna pay a man, commit to him. That's the future of your franchise. Spend a second round pick to get a receiver, a lineman, a running back, anything that can help him.
Yes.
Don't get another quarterback that's going to create problems.
I mean, we look at it right now. The Eagles should literally have 2 of the top receivers in the league right now on each side of the field, in Justin Jefferson and DK Metcalf. I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean, so the problem is everyone. It's kind of like with thank you for what you did, but so this is the question I'm gonna pose to you, Lee. If you going in right now, moving forward with the Eagles, what would your plan be to try to change the direction of the team?
Start with next week.
Yeah, start with next week.
My gut reaction right off the bat is fire everybody. Obviously, no, that is not realistic. I really, like just Game of Thrones style. I want heads on spikes. But that's not going to be feasible here. So I think you got to ride this out the rest of the year. I mean, you're going to fire Doug to what? Promote Jim Schwartz? I want him gone too. So you're riding out your coaches as is. I would fully remove play calling from Doug. That's the change I want. Eagles are alleging that it's sort of changed and different people are doing things in the 2-minute drill. I don't believe any of that. I want Doug completely out of play calling.
Okay, but
That's what we do for the rest of this year.
Here's this thing though, Lee, and I don't know if you're getting to it, but there's that big question that I wanted the answer to.
That's the answer.
Who starts next week if you're a head coach? If you're the coach of the Eagles, who's your starting quarterback next week?
If it were me, I never would have let us get to this situation.
Okay.
Unfortunately, after today, you got to go with Hurts.
Yes.
I hate to say, I don't think Hurts is the answer. I don't think Hurts is ready. I think you probably do more damage to him than not, starting him when he's not ready. But I don't think you can go back to Carson with as bad as he's been right now and as good as Hurts played, and I'll be at a limited sample today.
So when you say you can't go back to Carson, if it comes out and Hurts is not ready, and it's just it's horrible next week if he gets the start, can you go? You just stick with it. You don't go back to Carson.
This is what I was saying. I would never have let it get to this situation. I think the Eagles are in a lot of trouble right now.
I agree.
Because I don't think seesawing back and forth is a good idea.
But I think, though, here's the thing, though, too, Lee. And my thought was, if at any point, because I think at some point you knew this was going to happen. Like, it was just building up to this where he was going to come in at some point. And I think at that point in the game, after Carson had done that first 3-and-out series in the second half that he played, I kind of think in the back of your mind and in the back of my mind, I said, this might be the time. If you're going to go to Hurts, this is the time.
I think that would have been a better time. The challenge you look at what Brennan went to is you brought Hurts in a 3-score game. The Packers basically were paying a second-string defense by the time he came in, and Hurts took right advantage of it. Had a great first drive with an awesome third-down throw.
Yeah.
For the
But
touchdown.
he moved too, and that's the thing we haven't seen a lot of right now. He moved, and he got rid of
But
the
here's the
football.
thing.
He looked a little like how Carson looked in 2017 a little bit, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, before Carson's gotten beaten to heck.
Right.
So
So
as soon as Hurts scored, the Packers brought their defense back and started playing, and they shut the offense down again.
Right. I agree with that. I just don't think that, not to cut you, but I just don't think that, if you go back to Carson next week, then, you haven't really, to me, you haven't really held him accountable or haven't, done what the purpose of a benching does. You know what I'm saying? I think that you let him off the hook a little bit, and I think that he needs to sit down. If he's as great as he is, then he'll have his opportunity. So, but right now, what is this? Is this 5 games in a row or 6?
no, the losses. No,
Yes.
This is our 4th loss in a row.
I think it's 4.
Yeah, 4th loss in a row.
4th loss in a row, okay? So, I mean, it comes to a point in time, and he's not, I thought the offense, and now I'm looking more at it with a, with a more, more scrutiny, you know what I'm saying, and more, vision. I thought the offense moved okay that first series. I thought they were moving a little bit, right? I thought they felt, I thought it was okay.
First series of the game.
Of the game, yes.
But again, that's also because the play calling, that first series,
They're runnable.
Thank you. Yeah, and then that's the thing though. They've started off games like that with, we're going to run the ball, we're going to stick to it. Then all of a sudden, Miles Sanders goes in the witness protection program.
But you have to switch it up. You got to switch it up because the other team, the other coach is
but
going
here's
to, is going to make adjustments too, though.
Right, but the thing is, Miles Sanders was gaining yardage. But the thing is, Doug would then went back to.
Well, you don't say Doug, because it already came out that said that there's a collection of.
Yeah, but Doug's still making the call at the end of the day.
Oh,
Doug's still making. I know he said Press Taylor was going to have more of an input.
I didn't know you had a you had a bat phone.
No, so what do you think?
that.
Do you really
You know
think that Lee, as an Eagles fan, even though they
First off,
said.
guys, the Let's Get a Press Pass gets you information like that.
Exactly.
They don't understand that. It's just like, because, or, when you DM people on Instagram, they give you inside information.
Hey, Lee, do you know about that? I'm sure you do.
I don't know
What,
what
the Let's Get a Press Pass?
No. The let's get it host.
Here you go. So the one time, and it was twice. I was trying to get in touch with I reach out to different players. So the one time, I was reaching out to Carson, and I sent him a picture of me and the dog because I know he's a dog lover.
Him and Ruffers.
And they won't let me live it down. They won't let me
I
live
was
it down.
not aware of that.
Oh,
So I'll tell you what, you got another group of friends who won't let you live this
Listen, but as you know me for years, I will still stick to what I do at all times with no shame.
Right.
So
Randy will go in any situation. He is your man. And,
Okay, but here's my-
we went to FanFest a couple years ago, and he had the sole intent of meeting Westbrook and getting Westbrook to say happy birthday to a friend of his, and he nailed it.
yes,
Randy will
I
get
appreciate
it
that.
done.
I appreciate that. So here's my question for you, Lee. I know you kind of said we have to go to Hurts. Before I let you go, I want to end this on a little more positive. This conversation. One thing we're all fans of in this right now is the Sixers. Lee, what's your expectation for the Sixers this year?
Oh, the Sixers are just the silver lining around the hoop storm that is the Eagles and Phillies right now.
Yes.
I'm really interested to see what happens with the Sixers. I still think there are flaws in the roster. I still think the rest of the conference is really tough. But I think both Morey and Rivers are going to make a huge difference
Yes.
for the players on this team.
Yeah.
I think you will finally see the Ben Simmons that we drafted first overall. I think Embiid will finally be used correctly. I think Harris will still be a complete waste of money, but he'll be a much better version of that waste of money.
I like you,
But
Lee. See,
He's only said one crazy thing so far.
that's what I'm
Just
saying.
one.
And it was with the Carson stuff, right?
Well, with the Carson's the best.
Yeah, right. Other than that, I like his scope and vision here, man. Like, he's right on point.
Yeah.
But he's just, I understand.
Appreciate that,
No, you're loyal to Carson. I understand. It's all good. It's all good.
It is.
But you're right, though. You're right about them Sixers, though, bro.
agree.
All right, Lee. Listen, well, thank you
I'm
very
really
much for
excited to
joining
see where
us.
they go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you very much for joining us. We'll definitely have you on again during the Sixers season to discuss more, and appreciate you joining us tonight.
Thanks, Lee.
Thanks for having me,
All
guys.
right,
Great
Lee.
show, and looking forward to listening in the future.
All right, take it easy.
All right, and listen, yo, Lee, do not let him live that down. Him and
Please.
Ruffles. Him and
I make
Ruffles.
fun of this kid from stuff from elementary school.
Absolutely.
All
Take
right.
care, Lee.
All right, take it easy.
Take care.
I mean, listen, that's the thing though right now is that you have like I said, one of the most diehard Philly fans I know
Right.
saying it is Hurts' time.
Right.
And that's where I think the thing is now going forward is it is Hurts' time, and we're going to see what happens with him.
Right.
down
Did
the
he
road.
say that Hurts should be Hurts?
Yeah, like when
Oh,
I
he
asked
said-
him
he
who
said-
should be the quarterback next week, he said it should be Jalen Hurts.
Oh yes.
But he kind of like backed into it. Like I think now because of everything. That's
Oh yeah, then
happened,
he's got to do it.
It wasn't because
got you.
Carson's been playing bad. It's
Right.
Because I would have never. He said I would have never let it
Handle
go.
it that way, right? I got you, right?
Yeah, you
right.
know.
So yeah, all right. So
It's
we'll
just
see.
a
We'll see what happens with that. You know what I mean? But hey, listen, shout out to Anaya. I'm giving different shout outs. Shout out to my daughter Anaya. You know, she's watching. So and listen, I think we got another call too. At some point in the segment, I got a guy named Jake from New York here, man. I think we
He
talked
wants to
to
join
him.
us now.
Not now, I mean, or maybe next segment. He wants to talk a little basketball.
Okay,
You know,
all
I
right.
actually, I think we had him on the show when he was talking about what's my man down in Miami? What's my man? Bam, or somebody we was talking about. I forget though. But anyway, but yeah, so yeah, he's he's ready and willing too for another call at some point, whatever. You know what I mean?
All right, well, that said, we're going to run to a quick commercial break. Great Eagles talk. When we come back, we're going to attack the Sixers and some more basketball talk. You're watching and listening to Let's Get It Live, and we'll be right back after.